Hello there everyone, this is me Ethan here and welcome back to another film video, and today I am sitting on my floor with my Blu-ray collection because I'm finally giving another Blu-ray collection update. I think the last time I did a Blu-ray collection video was in, I believe, January of last year, so it's been over a year and I've collected a lot more Blu-rays. I think I've more than doubled my collection, which is pretty exciting. So without any further ado, let's jump right into this video because it is going to be a very long one. So first up with the TV shows, we have The King of Queens. This is my favorite sitcom of all time. It's the one I've rewatched the most. In fact, I was just watching it before this video and yesterday and the day before. It's so rewatchable to me. I love this series. It's consistently funny. It's got good emotion here and there. I just love this series. The Office can't really beat it. I can't think of any other sitcom that I like more than this show. So I have the complete series. I watch it all on Peacock. I've never used any of those discs just because there's so many. But regardless, I have the King of Queens. I own the King of Queens, which is just kind of a cool keepsake thing to have as my favorite sitcom. Moving on, we have Stranger Things, the very first season. I bought this for like $10 back in the summer of last year. Pretty great series, obviously. I think season 1 is still my favorite season. This is a really cool VHS style case that I really dig. Comes with 2 discs, the full first season, and a Demogorgon poster, but it looks kind of ugly and kind of weird, so I never hang it up. But yeah, an awesome little case. I don't know where I can find the second season on Blu-ray. If anybody knows, do let me know, because I know that season 3 and season 4 are supposed to eventually get a Blu-ray case release, which I would very much like. Now, moving on to the movies. First up, we have the live-action remake of Aladdin from 2019 in 4K. I got this for free from Disney Movie Insiders because I had enough points. No way I'd ever pay any more than $10 for this movie on 4K. It's probably my favorite live-action Disney remake if I had to pick, because it's still pretty fun and it's got decent visuals here or there. But out of all the live-action Disney remakes, this is the only one that I would pick over the original if I had to. Otherwise, all the other ones, I would much rather just watch the original animated one because they're the best. This one is about on par with the original, I'd say. Next up is a really cool case. This is James Cameron's Avatar. This was a recent pickup. I need to zoom out a little bit. There we go. James Cameron's Avatar. This was a really cool like $15 Blu-ray set that I got from Walmart recently. I love the cover of this. And it comes with the extended cut of the movie as well, which comes with an additional 16 minutes. The case for the discs are really nice with some screen grabs and some different quotes. Such a beautiful set for $15. I was shocked I was able to get it for that price. But yeah, it's 16 additional minutes. Definitely want to watch the extended cut at some point, and I can't wait for the 4K re-release of this movie. Oh, and there's the back as well on Nautikamea. I wish that was the cover of this one, but regardless, really, really nice case. One of my favorites in my collection by far. Really can't wait for the 4K re-release. It'll look so good. Next up, we have Avengers Infinity War, one of the best MCU movies of all time, but you already know that. This is one that I got from Five Below, so unfortunately there was no digital code included. I definitely need to get this movie on Blu-ray again, or maybe even on 4K just to upgrade, because this is really just a placeholder for right now. And then next up, Avengers Endgame. Really like this movie. I think Infinity War is quite a bit better. This one actually has the digital code because I bought it from elsewhere. Would like to get the 4K version instead as well. These are both kind of placeholders. Next up is a DC movie, The Batman, one of the best movies of last year, the best superhero movie of last year. I love the Riddler question mark in the eye. I think it's just a little bit too long and it drags on towards the end, but it's a near perfect Batman movie, a near perfect superhero movie. I love it. Another movie that I love from 2021 is Dune. I've only played the digital code version of this movie because I didn't have my PS5 at the time. Now I can actually play the 4K disc of this movie. I'm sure it'll look fantastic. Such a visually stunning and atmospheric movie. I love this one. Can't wait for the sequel releasing, I believe, this fall. Next up is Elvis. I bought this on 4K at Best Buy for like $10. I'd never seen the movie. I never saw it in theaters, unfortunately. But it does look really good. The first time I watched it, it legit gave me a headache because of all the colors and flashiness. But I've rewatched it since, and it still is a really good movie. Definitely my favorite Baz Luhrmann film. Not a fan of his work, but I do like Elvis a decent bit. Next up is a recent purchase, the most recent one. This is The Fabelmans, which is now take the cake for my favorite film of 2022. Just slightly beating Avatar: The Way of Water, just because this resonates with me a little bit better. I felt like the emotional beats really hit right in this one, and I'm an aspiring filmmaker, if I can get my words out correctly. And I'm an aspiring filmmaker, so this one just connects with me a little bit more. And I love this one. I can't wait to rewatch it. And I only watched this movie 2 weeks ago in theaters. Next up is the most recent purchase. This is The Fabelmans on Blu-ray. This took the cake as my favorite 2022 movie, just slightly beating Avatar: The Way of Water, just because it resonated with me a little bit more, and the emotional beats hit so well. It is a great Steven Spielberg film. Not his best ever, but certainly a really good Steven Spielberg film. I cannot wait to rewatch this movie, and I actually just watched this about 2 weeks ago in theaters, so that says something. Next up is another one of my favorite movies of all time, Fantastic Mr. Fox, on Blu-ray and digital. If you've seen this film, you know exactly why it's one of my favorite films of all time. The animation is stunning, the comedy is awesome, and the story is great. The cast is there, the voice acting, it's all so good. It's a perfect movie in my opinion. I love it. Moving down a little bit, we have Ford versus Ferrari. I recently rewatched this one, and I still love it. It is a great racing movie. It beats out Pixar's cars in about every way imaginable. The racing scenes are tense. The acting is really well done by Matt Damon and Christian Bale. And it's just a really great dad movie. Next up is Free Guy on 4K. This was, I think, my first 4K movie, unfortunately. This movie hasn't gotten better with time for me, unfortunately. It's just an alright, fun movie. It's not amazing. It's just okay. The comedy doesn't hit the same as it used to for me. I actually got this for free whenever I signed up for Mint Mobile at Best Buy, which was made by Ryan Reynolds, so I didn't even pay for this movie, but it's a really good movie. It's not a really good movie. It's a really fun movie, I should say. It's not perfect, but it looks decent in 4K. Next up is Godzilla vs. Kong on Blu-ray. I got this one for fairly cheap. It's just a fun fast food blockbuster movie. I watched this one in theaters, and I just had a blast with it, so had to pick it up for cheap. Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Need to get this one on 4K. This was just a Disney Movie Club sort of minimum order purchase thing that I did to get closer to those good discounts after you buy like 6 full-price movies, which I'm still not done with. But I need to buy this one on 4K along with the second film because Guardians 3 is coming up before we know it, and I'm very excited about that one. And this one's just one of my favorite MCU movies, so have to own it at least on Blu-ray. And next up, we have one of the best animated trilogies of all time, How to Train Your Dragon, all on Blu-ray and digital. The very first, second, and third one, The Hidden World. I was going to call it How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, and 3, but it's The Hidden World. That kind of bothers me. Anyways, great movies, all visually stunning. I'm disappointed that they're already going to be doing a live-action remake so soon for the first one, but I'll be seated. I'll be there. I love How to Train Your Dragon. But a very good trilogy that doesn't need to be remade. Now, a movie that totally could and should be remade is an MCU Hulk movie. This is The Incredible Hulk. Bought it for like $5 from one of my local Blu-ray places. Doesn't have the digital code, obviously, because it was pre-owned. Not a fan of this one. Edward Norton's alright. CGI's kind of good, but just kind of a whatever MCU movie in my opinion. Now, some movies that are not whatever movies are the Indiana Jones movies. This is the 4-movie collection on Blu-ray and digital. Got this one recently for half off. It was like $60 for a while, but it was available at Walmart for a limited time for like $30, which was great because I had only ever seen Raiders, and I'd seen that one multiple times, even in theaters during a re-release in 2020, and I loved that one, so I needed to watch the other 4. I have watched Temple of Doom. That's probably my favorite one. Last Crusade was also really good, and I still need to watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But overall, yeah, these 3 movies so far, really good. I've heard mixed things about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I'm still excited regardless to see what happens, and I gotta have all 4 of these watched before The Dial of Destiny coming out this summer, which I am very excited for, and I really hope it doesn't disappoint. Moving back a little bit more, we have Jurassic World, one of the best Jurassic films, in my opinion, right behind Jurassic Park. All the other ones kind of suck, but this one's a pretty fun blockbuster movie, in my opinion. Got Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I got this one for cheap, so that's why I have it in my collection. Not a very great movie, but a decent, cheesy blockbuster flick. Not a big fan. Then we have Knives Out. Absolutely love this one. I'm so happy that I saw it in 2019 whenever it released, so I can say I'm like... I watched it whenever it released on digital, so I wasn't too behind on it. I loved Glass Onion, and I hope that one gets a Blu-ray release sometime in the future. Netflix, please do it. And here we have La La Land. Rewatched this one on Valentine's Day, a very fitting rewatch. This is the only steelbook in my collection with an amazing slipcover. I love it. It's in 4K. I love the colors on this one. Just looks so good. It perfectly represents the movie. And there's the inside as well, and you can flip those. Just such a fantastic musical. My 3rd favorite movie of all time. I love this one. It's so good. Great performances, great musical numbers, great cinematography, great everything. I adore La La Land, and if you haven't seen it, definitely do check it out. Next up, we have the Disney Movie Club exclusive Lilo and Stitch 2 movie collection. I love the first one. It's just got all the great summer vibes that you want from a summer type movie. I love summer, so obviously I'm going to love Lilo and Stitch, and it's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. I just really dig this one. The second one is just okay, though. Next up is a DC film, Man of Steel. I bought this one for fairly cheap before Black Adam because Henry Cavill was supposed to return back to the DCEU. But we all know how that ended up. Still a really good movie, in my opinion. One of the most underrated comic book movies. Not perfect, but I certainly really enjoy rewatching it from time to time. Here's our first, our first Pixar movie. This is Monsters University, the Collector's Edition. I love the shiny cover on this one. I think Monsters University is fairly underrated. And probably once I go to college, I'll relate to it a little bit more, but I don't think it deserves the hate that I hear sometimes for it. I definitely need to get Monsters, Inc. on Blu-ray sometime, though, if I can find it. But yeah, here's one of the 2 Pixar movies I have in my collection, or 3. I seriously need more. And next up, kind of going in rapid fire because I already showed these ones in my previous Blu-ray collection video, we have Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, a perfect blockbuster. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, my 4th favorite movie of all time. This one's like the Empire Strikes Back of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. It's just so good. I love the dark gothic eeriness to it. All the performances are so fun. The action set pieces are so good. I can never get enough of this movie, and I will forever be rewatching it. And then next up, we have At World's End. It's a little bit clunky, way too long and convoluted, and so much backstabbing and stuff, but I still have a crazy amount of fun with it every time I watch it. We've got Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides in a weird DVD case, but it does include the Blu-ray. This one's just okay. Johnny Depp shouldn't be the star of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, or like the main character at least. He's always the catalyst in the stories. I don't really like this one hardly at all, but I needed it for my Pirates collection. I need to find it for really cheap just on Blu-ray so it doesn't stick out as much in that weird DVD case. And then we have Dead Men Tell No Tales. I like this one only slightly better than on Stranger Tides, partially because of Javier Bardem, and Jeffrey Rush is a lot more fun in this movie, and Captain Jack Sparrow feels a little bit more like a catalyst and not a main character. And then moving on, we somehow have another Johnny Depp movie, I just now realized. This is Rango. I love Rango. This is one of the most underrated animated movies of all time. I love how everything just looks dirty and disgusting and nasty in this movie. It's it's a great Western animated movie. It's very funny. If you haven't watched it, please go check it out. It is an underrated gem, and it's also directed by the same guy who directed the first three Pirates of the Caribbean films. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he directed this as well. So, conveniently, all five movies in a row were Johnny Depp movies. The second Pixar film in my collection is my number one favorite movie of all time. It is Ratatouille. I absolutely love Ratatouille. I hope I can get a 4K release of this soon. This was another Disney Movie Club thing where I just wanted to get closer to those discounts, so I just bought it on Blu-ray for a little bit cheaper. This movie will never not resonate with me. I love it. It's gorgeous. It's a perfect animated movie, but I'm sure you all know that. Next up, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in 4K. This is a more recent release in 4K. I got this alongside Elvis, as y'all saw earlier, for fairly cheap, like $10. I really enjoy this movie. It's a fun, funny blockbuster flick. Some people don't like it, but I don't mind. I think it's pretty fun. And the first one was pretty fun, but I like the second one even better. And I'm excited for the third one, which I think is coming out next year. Moving on, we have the Spider-Man 5 movie collection with Spider-Man 1 through 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 2. Whoa. I bought these movies right before No Way Home, about a month before, so I could just rewatch all of them. I need to get them all on Blu-ray or 4K at some point, but for right now, I have them on DVD if I want to rewatch, and they don't look too bad. Next up is Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. I love Homecoming. I kind of despise Far From Home now. It's a really dumb Spider-Man movie. Don't find me in the comments. It just is. And then here's a really good Spider-Man movie, Into the Spider-Verse. I don't really need to say anything about this movie. You guys know how good of a movie this is, and I can't wait for Across the Spider-Verse this summer. I keep forgetting about it, but I'm still excited nonetheless. And finally, or for the last three movies, we have Toy Story 4. This is one of my favorite Toy Story movies, and I think it's actually perfectly fine. I don't hate it like a lot of people do, and I resonated with it a decent bit. It's got a cool case, and you got the 4K disc, the bonus features, and the Blu-ray. I really dig this movie. Whether you like it is up to you, and that's perfectly fine, but I really love this movie. And the final two movies, or three I guess. Here we have Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage as a two-movie collection. I enjoyed the first Venom, but then Let There Be Carnage was kind of just whatever. These movies are just both kind of fun, but kind of boring at the same time. And finally, we have Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray, the crazy 4-hour movie. I certainly really enjoy it. I think it's a little bit overrated, and the fans are a little bit too hardcore, but I think this is one of the best superhero movies released in recent years. Quite a bit better than some current Marvel movies even. So yeah, there was my full Blu-ray movie collection from TV shows all the way through to movies. I have 39 cases. I don't know exactly how many movies I have just because there are multiple movies per each case in a lot of situations where it's like a set of movies. But regardless, there was my Blu-ray movie collection. What is your favorite movie in my collection at the moment? I can't wait to do this video later in the year as I start to collect up more and more movies. So if you all enjoyed this collection update and if you all enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye and have a great day.